was that cake you made for George?
Oh, the
Mr. Pibb cake.
Yes. It was... So, what I was trying to do was take a bunch of fast break bars and, like, layer them in the cake. But then I sort of realized that I don't remember the way I was doing it. It wouldn't really work. So I was like, okay, I'm going to take a hand mixer and blend a bunch of fast break bars into this, like, cake mix. But then I realized that was making it way too thick. So I added a bunch of Mr. Pibb to it. So it ended up being mostly Mr. Pibb and crushed fast breaks, but turned out to be a pretty good cake.
It was. It was very rich.
Disclaimer! Crossing the Line is not a show intended to bully or harass anyone. Do not go out of your way to find or mess with the authors featured on our podcast. They make what we do possible, and we love them. And you. Thanks. Enjoy.
So we're trying the new Mountain Dew Frostbite. What is everyone's food review of it? It's only available at Walmart. It's blue. It's got a shark on it.
It's only available in the quarantine-filled Walmart.
Yes. I walked into Walmart with my shirt over my mouth and nose, thinking I'll just use this as a mask. And then I got fed up with that, so I put it down. Then I got a blast of Walmart smell, and I was like, oh no. So I ended up kind of maintaining that. Walmart was pretty empty, though. We did find toilet paper, thankfully. This is our specialty quarantine episode.
It's the first toilet paper I've seen in years.
And Mountain Dew Frostbite review, I would say it tastes pretty much like a watered down Voltage or other Mountain Dew drink. It's not super distinct. Maybe I'm saying Voltage because it's blue. I don't know.
See, I can't give a proper review. I'll give a proper review on next episode. I only had one sip as I am dieting, but from the one sip, it's decent. I think Elias pretty nailed it on the head, honestly.
Yeah, make sure you drink your Mountain Dew Frostbite in the morning so that you have plenty of calories to spare.
And
Indeed,
that's your meal for the day.
My cheat.
Just make an oatmeal bowl with Frostbite and oats. It'll take care of the sugar and the water and
Oh my god.
blueberry taste, maybe.
It's not blueberry.
It's blue, it's a berry.
It's blue, it's berry.
Welcome to Crossing the Line, a fanfiction podcast where we read, review, and critique fanfiction for your listening pleasure.
ファンフィクションポッドキャストを超えて、私たちはあなたのリスニングの喜びのためにレビューと批評のファンフィクションを読みます。
Hello.
Hello.
Is that an intro?
Yeah, that's fine. Hey, if you could sue one soda brand, what would it be and why?
Sue.
Yes.
Oh, okay.
Like, what's your claim that they stole from you and or deserve to be sued by? Maybe just something in general, like Mountain Dew combining 3 flavors and it tasting like nothing, but them charging the same price.
That's not true. Duo was delicious. And what was the other one? The 50 one. That one was actually nothing.
I didn't even know about that one.
Yeah, that was the last American one. It was like 50 flavors for 50 states.
The USA?
No.
Not USA.
It was like a pun on America or something.
And not Merry Mashup?
No, that's Christmas. What was it?
The United States of America?
No. It's not worth it. I don't want to talk about soda anymore.
Alright.
Steven, introduce the show.
Hello everyone, welcome to Crossing the Line, where we read fanfictions for your listening pleasure. My name is Bluebreed.
I'm G-Pool.
And I'm V.
And this episode we're doing Looney Tunes. What's everyone's experience with the funny Looney Tunes?
I hate Looney Tunes.
Elias, do the Looney Tunes theme song.
Is this interesting to listen to?
Well, you see, I played the Sheep Raider game demo on PS1 a lot and would watch episodes on, I want to say Boomerang. Were Looney Tunes on Boomerang?
Mm-hmm.
They were,
Okay,
but...
then yeah.
Mm-hmm.
I think Bugs Bunny's very funny.
What'd you think about Bugs Bunny when he dressed up as a girl? Did that make you feel like anything?
Yes.
No.
That was so fast, Steven.
Oh God,
When he had his
I'm
tail
drawing
up and his
that.
whole ass out.
When he's in that Madonna outfit, dude. Where's Marilyn Monroe? Let's see.
I think
I think it was Marilyn Monroe.
Yes, the Marilyn Monroe. Yes.
Dakota, do you want a corner in the podcast yet?
Okay. I'll just make little comments
Okay.
here and there.
We'll just blast the audio and distort your voice to your level with everybody else.
Yeah, sounds good.
Bass boost.
My charger for my Switch Lite doesn't switch all the way over there, so.
I remember, what was that, like, one where they were all superheroes and edgy?
Lunatics Unleashed.
Watched some of that as a kid on TV. I don't know where I watched it, but I caught a lot of the old shorts.
It was on Kids WB and it was bad.
Yes.
And it is bad.
I will say Lola Bunny's very hot. She's like total furry bait.
Oh, absolutely.
It's pretty wild.
I like the Lola Bunny from the Looney Tunes show better than the Space Jam Lola Bunny.
I mean, that one had more of a show to actually have a personality.
Yeah, the one in the Space Jam just looks like a real woman. I don't like real women.
George, you're gonna get us in hot water.
What do you mean?
A lot of
I
real...
can't say things about women.
Do you know how many
don't
real
like-
Do you know what
For real.
episode of Kids
Like
Next
real
Door I just watched?
What episode of Kids Next Door did we just watch?
Thank you for asking. It was episode 27, Operation Future. Wallaby Beetles, aka Number 4, gets sent to an all-girls boarding school where they try to shoot him with girl ray beams to turn him into a girl.
Why didn't we watch Looney Tunes instead?
Why didn't we watch Lunatics Unleashed instead?
I don't have an answer for you.
Let's watch Lunatics Unleashed.
I just
Let's
really
watch
wanted
it.
to watch that episode. It was in the back of my head for like a month.
Is Speedy Gonzalez a Looney Tunes?
Yes.
Yes.
Can we watch an episode of that on double speed?
It would be so speedy.
Sure would. That's why I go to those classic Speedy Gonzalez videos.
You go to the Speedy Gonzalez Neo City sites.
I go to the Speedy Gonzalez subreddit.
What's on r/Speedy Gonzalez?
It's just like a generic Spanish politics subreddit, but no spaces between every word. So it's really hard to read. But if you're fast at reading, it's actually faster, technically.
It's just a bunch of posts, but there's no fucking spaces in between the words.
Like a lunatic.
That's why they call them Looney Tunes.
That's why he's Lunatics Unleashed.
Oh god, I wonder if Speedy was even in Lunatics Unleashed.
That would be the most disgusting character model.
I mean, they had both Roadrunner and Wily, so it's...
Was Roadrunner in that? Did he have arms?
Huh?
Mhm.
Did he
Yeah.
Oh, that's
Yeah, he was
gross.
red.
That is disgusting.
Look up a JPEG.
I don't want to talk about this anymore.
I did genuinely like the Looney Tunes show that came out 2013.
Oh yeah.
Yes.
That one was good.
It was either that or 2010?
That was the one I was picturing in my head when we read that fan fiction where they're going to California.
Mm-hmm. Yeah, that one was That one was cool. It had actual comedy. Which, not to say the other ones don't have comedy, but it was more, I guess, spoken word rather than like slapstick stuff.
2011.
Oh, okay, 2011.
Yeah. But yeah, I love that one a lot. They put a lot of love and care into both the characters, the artwork. It was just overall really well done.
Like, really, the only thing that wasn't great about it were the songs. Like,
yeah.
the only one I kind of like is the Wizard one, and that's just because the animation in the music video is absolutely insane.
With the
Daffy-
grilled cheese one.
I like the grilled cheese one.
I know you like the grilled cheese one, but why do you like the grilled cheese
Because
one?
it's so dumb. You can literally tell from the Yeah, I remember that. Pretty par for the course.
Yeah, but these ones, I remember I was looking this up. They're not the actual Looney Tunes. They're the descendants of the Looney Tunes.
Yeah, Lunatics Unleashed.
Mm-hmm. They're like the descendant of Bugs Bunny has god power.
Well, I mean, Bugs Bunny had it too, but he was just a jack off about it.
It has a 5.6 out of 10 on IMDb. 91% like this TV show of Google users.
Can you find us the 5-star review on IMDb of Lunatics Unleashed and read that?
Please.
The 5-star.
Well, you know it's going to be all 1s and 1-5.
Yeah. Find us a good extensive review. But I like the grilled cheese one. It's very much a concept that you can tell they were... In any other show you would go, this is just a really stupid idea, but for how good the show was, you can probably pass it off as they knew it was intentionally stupid. So in that regard, I think it was well executed. It is what it is. It's Elmer Fudd singing about wanting a grilled cheese.
He wanted a bucket.
He sure did. I think I'm gonna have another.
Unoriginal show gives Looney Tunes superpowers.
Well, that's fine. That's the 5-star one.
And that was a 2-star one. What parents need to know? Parents need to know that this program begins and ends with explosions. Stop popping up on this garbage website with nothing very worthwhile in between. It's not age appropriate, but there are far better things for your kids to do with their time.
Does it keep popping up episodes of Lunatics Unleashed to make you watch it?
No, it's just this website, which is commonsensemedia.org, has... Yeah, it says commonsensemedia.org gives it a 2 out of 5 and is for ages 7+. But I keep getting pop-ups that are gonna brick my phone. But the only reviews are external ones, so I have to load them individually. And that one's broken. So there's one more.
It keeps trying to open up tabs to make them watch the show.
No, it doesn't, because there was a link for it on Amazon Prime and it was $15.
For an episode or a season?
I think for the season, but still.
Oh yeah, there were 2 seasons.
That's the worst news I've heard all day.
Yeah, and they try to save face with the 2nd season by making the intro really goofy and have a goofy narrator.
Look at this shitty website IMDb took me to. DVDtalk.com.
Hold on, responsive.
Oh no.
DVD Talk.
There's a website like that where some of my Facebook articles will take me to. And there's this ad that pops up on those websites that for a split second it shows a picture of the mom from My Hero 6 with really low cleavage. And it
Whoa.
And then it has a caption that says, "Someone has to animate boobs for Disney movies," and then all of a sudden it changes to a different ad, and I'm like, what is this ad that is showing me?
Dude, what do I want you to do? You clicked it, right?
No.
Every time he tries,
it goes away.
Every time he tries, it scuttles away like a crab.
It just changes to a different ad. Before you can even really look at it, it changes to a different ad. I'm like,
right when you click it, it takes you to the Amazon Prime to buy Lunatics Unleashed. See, on DVD Talk, it has, for content, 1 star, video, 4 stars, audio, 3.5 stars, extra, 1 star, replay, half a star, advice, skip it.
That's all going pretty good until the replay value.
The content was 1 star. How is the video 4 stars then? Let's see. Bugs Bunny and his Looney Tunes pals have survived Baby Looney Tunes, Space Jam, and Cartoon All-Stars to the rescue, but can they survive Lunatics Unleashed? No. The series, which debuted on the Kids WB network in September 2005, is Warner Brothers' lamest attempt yet to update the classic Looney Tunes characters, this time by giving them extreme makeovers. The dopey action hero upgrade was loudly ridiculed by fans when it was first announced, and for good reason. The whole thing smacks of the kind of obnoxious corporate tinkering that mocked in the Poochie episode of The Simpsons. Despite the promise of total embarrassment for the franchise, Warner Brothers went ahead anyway, and for some reason, the series had already lasted 2 full seasons.
Whoa.
That's all I'm going to read.
Alright, that's enough Lunatics Unleashed.
Yeah.
There was one comment from Rahim Mohammed, but it's in Arabic, so I can't read it. But I hope he liked Lunatics Unleashed.
George, does that mean your experience with Looney Tunes is just the 2012 show?
No, everybody's seen Looney Tunes. I just never really... It was never one of the cartoons I paid mind to. I was much more interested in Tom and Jerry if we're talking older classic cartoons.
What about that Ty the Tasmanian... Hold on.
Ty the Tasmanian Tiger?
No, not that one.
Yes, on PS2, I'm listening.
And Switch, coming soon.
I was gonna say that Tasmanian devil tattoo on your calf, but then I started thinking about Ty and lost it.
On my calf, huh?
George, you have a the Tasmanian tiger tattoo on
I'll
your
take
calf?
off my pants if I have to prove that I don't.
I already know you don't because you said you would never get a tattoo.
I can see it, well...
Or something.
I said I would, but not now.
Oh, okay.
Not one.
Something like that.
Not until I have the body for it.
Not until I find someone who can draw Ty the Tasmanian tiger really well.
Not until I can 3D graph a model of Ty the Tasmanian tiger on my leg.
I can see it right now with this boomerangs.
It's like the worst, earliest model of him.
Yeah. Oh god. It's
holding his boomerangs like pistols.
It's the art from the first game where he has his shitty trunks.
He does have shitty trunks.
This is so off the rails. Is there not more to say about Looney Tunes?
No!
I also saw when it was doing the weird, like, throwback reruns on Cartoon Network in the middle of the day with Tom and Jerry.
That must have been where I saw it, because I was going to ask, does Tom and Jerry have any relation to Looney Tunes?
No.
Nah. Aside from occasionally, they were also animated by Chuck Jones. That's about it. I remember... Like, you would see episodes every here and then, especially on, like, Boomerang. But I remember Baby Looney Tunes in particular was, like, the bane of any sick kid. You'd have the great luxury of watching Price is Right in the morning, but after that, you're like, what do I do? There's Nick Jr. or Baby Looney Tunes. It's true. When I was a kid, I would try to catch Sonic X, and I'd, like, wake up early, but Sonic X would not be in friggin' Syndicate on that particular, like, year. So unfortunately, I just get a whole bunch of fucking Baby Looney Tunes.
Hey there, everybody, it's a beautiful day.
I also remember watching that.
Baby Looney Tunes way.
That must have been it, because I remember watching some, like, Baby Muppet stuff recently, like some YouTube, not the show, but somebody talking about it, and it was like, I don't really remember, I remember, like, a baby animal show. Maybe I was watching, like, Fever Dream Baby Looney Tunes at my time. Mm-hmm. That must have been it.
They all lived in Granny's house. There was the episode where Lola Bunny saved her money from not getting ice cream. So when the man came around and said, "I have the big ice cream, but it's going to cost you 3/4," and they all said, "But I don't have 3/4." But she did, and they learned a valuable lesson about sharing or saving money.
The fucking Lola Bunny Flex episode.
There was one where Daffy Duck learned to swear, and everyone said,
"That's true."
Daffy Duck was born knowing how to swear.
He said, "Oh shit!"
And then Granny was like, "Oh my, where did you learn that?"
I'm pretty sure he learned it from like construction workers like driving by in their forklift or something.
They just drive by.
Fuck you, baby!
What is fucking duck?
Why is a duck wearing a fucking diaper? It's stupid.
Piece of shit.
Well, I want to read fanfiction and stop talking about this now.
Me too. Okay. I want to go.
Go ahead.
Okay, I actually picked a few, so I have to decide right now which one is going to be funnier.
I'll cut the pizza.
That one's really good, but so is that one. Yeah, they're both pretty short.
Write one on the spot.
Yeah, just,
okay, Lola Bunny walks in. She's wearing a G-string and nothing else.
Yes. Go on.
the end.
No!
Just Lola Bunny and a G-string.
That's all you need.
That's a good story.
Everybody's already cummed at least 3 times.
At least.
They hit the big cum.
Well, you said the word G-string 3 times, so you know.
Oh god, they're both so funny.
Are they short enough that you could read both?
Maybe. Like, I noticed that when we were looking for fan fiction, a lot of, like, at least the ones I saw were all relatively short.
For Looney Tunes?
Mm-hmm. I'll go with this one. This is the one I picked first, and that was the one that won my heart first.
crack my pan and I'm totally done making noise. Okay.
There's an author's note saying that this is the second in a specific series, but it doesn't seem like they're chronologically connected, so we're in the clear there. It was a sunny day when Frank Barone, B-A-R-O-N-E?
B-A-R what?
B-A-R-O-N-E.
Barone.
It was a sunny day when Frank Barone, as he gets when Frank Barone, as he gets to see that he was going to the bathroom mirror, as he gets to take a look at his mirror, as he was simply that he was bald.
Okay.
As Marie came in, she sees that Frank happens to be bald as possible, as they had to notice that they're going to feel that he's going to be a bald man, and as he gets to stay like this.
Gets to stay like this.
We can't even get through 2 sentences. This whole thing's gonna be incomprehensible.
It's like a jigsaw puzzle for the mind.
Verbatim.
Mm-hmm. That's our company policy. Mary, I think that I happen to know that I have the baldness feeling on my head, said Frank.
I think I happen to know.
And happen is capitalized for some reason.
It's like when you say him in reference to God.
It sounds like it's been run through Google Translate.
Oh, you don't have to make us that it was for if there was a miracle that came through our door, replied Marie as she heard the doorbell.
Repeat that?
Sure thing, buddy. Oh, you don't have to make us that it was if there was a miracle that came through our door, replied Marie as she heard the doorbell.
Alright.
He's bald, he's worried about balding when the doorbell rang.
I thought you used like 3 nouns. I thought you went like his, her, him.
As she gets downstairs, she opens the door and sees Daffy Duck, who's gone door to door selling hair products. I don't have to do a Daffy Duck impression, do I?
Yes.
That'll make this even easier to read, you're right. Ma'am, I could help hear that your husband is be getting some hair.
He sounds so scummy!
He is scummy.
He sounds like he has a beard gut and he's scratching it as he's talking to her.
Daphne was watching him through the window and then immediately went downstairs to try to sell him hair products.
I'll translate. He said, "Ma'am, I could help hear that your husband is be getting some hair." Really? Is that so? Said Murray to Frank as Frank gets to the sales duck. He told him, "We don't want any." As he gets to shut the door, Daffy puts his foot in as he gets to tell him,
"Bang on Daffy's foot."
On Daffy's flat foot. "I believe there is a solution to your baldness," said Daffy as he gets to see that he might have to find a way to solve
It's
his
not
problem.
written like that! It can't!
Said Daffy as he gets to see that he might have to find a way to solve his problem.
This is a madhouse!
I know I'm normally dyslexic on this show, but this is for real. I'm doing a very good job.
You are.
You can only scream like that for 4 more minutes.
I'll get it out.
Well, in that case, we had to take care of some cures right here. As Daffy gets to step inside, as Daffy had to give out some of this they had to the living room. "Ah, yes. I think that you need to make sure that you're going to enjoy some of my hair products." As they begin to see, they knew that Daffy's got a big bag of hair products in there. "Now, it's really easy for this first one. I think you're going to enjoy the mega hair growth." As Daffy gets to pull the bottle out of the bag. "Oh, here it is, the mega hair growth bottle." As Daffy gets to put some oil, as he gets to be rubbing it on Frank's hair, as he gets to spread all over his scalp. He said, as he gets so many times.
It's speaking in privileges. He gets to take it out. He gets to
do so much. Is it working? Asked Frank. Patience and let your hair grow, said Daffy as they get to wait to get their hair to grow.
Watch his hair grow?
We're gonna watch the paint dry too.
Holy shit.
As they get to see that quite as they might had to wait for Frank's new hair to grow. Do you mind?
You can keep reading, I just saw on the floor.
Do you know how much concentration I need for this?
You're right, go ahead.
As they get to see that quite as they might had to wait for Frank's new hair to grow. Is it working? Asked Frank. Is it working? Asked back Daffy. Give it some time and we'll get to make sure if we had to make sure that it's going to be that they might had to see that it was going to be that it has nothing more as a piece of hair that's grown out.
It sounds like a troll.
Isn't it a beauty? Said Marie.
As it grows.
Completely clear sentences between this stuff.
I don't know, isn't it a beauty? Said Marie.
Isn't it?
As it grows fast, as it got filled to the whole house. Okay, it looks like that we got for plan B, said Daffy as he gets to get of the hair first.
Why plan B? He got all the hair he needed.
Yeah, he got the...
It filled the house.
Later, Daffy had to give out another bottle in his bag as he gets to be that he was simply that he was going to use it on Frank's head. Behold, a hair growth formula. What?
Why more?
He has hair! The story's over! There was conflict and resolution.
He's gonna make more conflict, don't you worry. That's what Daffy Duck's character is.
Behold, a hair growth formula, as gets to see that he was going to be, that he was going to use it on his head as he gets to rub it. Are you sure this is going to work this time? Asked Frank. Trust me, you don't know what hit him. As they get to wait, that Frank's head gets a little fuzzy as he got a little hair back. Wow, I had no idea, Frank replied. As he gets to be pulling it out, they knew that they might had to give out a full hair back out. I never knew that I could get some, as he got interrupted as his hair gets to pull him, as Frank gets to scream like crazy as he gets to see that he was being pulled out of the house as he got saved by his car. That was some stuff, he said as he fainted. I can't visualize this story.
George, he gets the gots.
He got hair.
Something about his hair pulling him.
He
almost got hit by a car.
Then he pulled it out and he had to go to his car to leave. Because as soon as Daffy entered his house, he got sent into a fever dream.
And then he fainted. Later, it seems that Daffy gets to pull house that he was seriously, that he that he was bringing out something. Since those hair growth formulas ain't do anything good, I thought that I'd get to be getting something good here. As he gets to put a toupee on his head, he knew that he might had to see that he looked good in a toupee, as he knew that he looked stylish. Wow, I can't believe that I get to see that I look good, as he gets to see that he might had to see that he was going to see that he looked stylish, as he gets to feel that he got as Daffy and Marie smiled.
I like this female character, Marie, that doesn't do anything.
I know, she doesn't gets.
She's supportive. Just then, the toupee, as he gets to see that, as he gets to allow that there were going to be, that it was pulling on him, as he gets to be flying over, as he gets to see, as they could allow that he happened to use, as he had to allow that there was going to be, that quite as they had to
this is
throw
the most
him down.
Infuriating method of writing.
As they had to throw him down, as they get to make sure that the toupee escaped from Frank's head, as it got a mind of its own.
That was all one sentence.
Okay.
Oh,
So Daffy has tried 3 things. This third thing is a toupee, which they like, but it jumped off his head and is now sentient.
Yes. Okay, I think that there ain't going to be possibly to do as they had to go here, said Daffy. Is there anything that you don't know about it yet? Yes, said Frank. How about we get to have some duck dinner? As Daffy gulped.
Oh no, he's turning on Daffy!
Oh no.
He said, don't you worry, Frankie. I got some more products as I happen to make it though distance as I have possibly as I get to allow that might you have some hair. As Daffy gets to have one last bottle before he goes to the next customer, he knew that he could find that he was going to use it as he can see that it can't possibly fail as he hoped. Okay, this is the last bottle, he said to Frank. I knew that this could be that it was going to be adding on your head as that can give you hair. As he gets to see that he was seeing that his hair was get to grow as he gets happy, when he realized there are flowers on his head. Whoops, Daffy realized. I knew that I could be that quite as I get to see that quite as things that might have the possible as I use the flower growth. As Frank gets to see that he was failing as he could get to see that. You and your pranks, duck! As Daffy gets to use it as he gets to see that he might had to possibly as he gets to see that quite as they would have to notice it. Fine. I don't know when I'm not wanted. As Daffy gets They knew that they could when they might had as they would hope that as Marie gets up to her. Don't you worry. You look fine just the way you are. Thanks, honey, said Frank. After all, I might go down to the store and get me a toupee. As they get back to the house, Daffy has to go to Robert's apartment as he gets to see that quite as he gets to see that he might had to sell some hair products. Hello, I'm here to sell you some hair products. As Robert gets to look at us readers, but that was another story. The end. Please make some comments in the comment section and have a nice day. Thank you. Closing note. The part you have read referenced the Bugs Bunny cartoon Rabbit of Seville as Bugs had to put some flowers on Elmer's head as he got his hair grown, but the flowers grown instead.
Oh. I really thought that was a stolen episode. They just translated really poorly, but I guess it wasn't.
That was an Everybody Loves Raymond crossover, if you couldn't tell.
Oh, no.
Yeah, see, he went to Robert's apartment at the end.
Oh.
I think Frank and Marie are their parents.
I think so,
Yeah,
yeah.
I'm pretty sure.
What's this duck doing here?
Yeah, I really thought Raymond and Robert would be in that story more, so you guys would get it, and not their parents, Frank and Marie, dealing with a cartoon duck.
Well, it was already hard to understand.
We were dealing with a grammatical crisis, as it were.
Well, what would you rate that story then?
I would rate that. I would got to rate that a 2 to get to a 3 out of 4.
I'm having some trouble because what kind of person likes Everybody Loves Raymond, but also likes Bugs Bunny, the cartoons, but also can't spell? Like, if you like Everybody Loves Raymond, you have to be able to write. You gotta be like old enough to...
Comment on that fanfiction. I demand to know your age.
Comment on the fanfiction. Who are you?
Give me your ID.
Give me your social security.
What kind of person watches both those shows? I feel maybe they're...
I don't know. What kind of person watches iCarly and Pawn Stars?
The executives of iCarly and Pawn Stars.
Dan
Rick
Schneider.
Harrison.
Okay, I rate that the iCarly Pawn Stars crossover.
Which is real.
Mm-hmm.
Yes.
I Lose My Head in Vegas is the name of the episode. Sam's mom is sent to jail and they need to bail her out, so they need to make some money, and they like, well, she's in Vegas. Hey, there's lots of pawn shops in Vegas. Maybe we can pawn some stuff. And they go to Gold and Silver Pawn, and Rick Harrison says, hey, is that the iCarly crew?
And your mom breaks when you hear that out loud.
They have the old man in a chair with a towel over his head, so you know it's not the old man. God rest his soul.
God rest his soul.
I rate that story second grade out of 12 grades of school, because that's when you learn grammar, I'm pretty sure. Maybe third grade.
Rick Harrison says the word iCarly out loud and it plays the brown note from his mouth.
Chumley and Gibby become the best of friends.
That's true.
They buy the bottle of Wahoo Punch that Michelle Obama drank out of with just going on their trust. He says, "Well, you swear this was drank by Michelle Obama? I'll take your word for it," which he would never fucking do.
You'd get an expert on that shit.
He would
Does
never
this taste
buy
like
soda.
Michelle?
Someone who's kissed Michelle, I need you to
They're
taste the
Barack
lid of this
Obama as their
bottle.
expert.
They get Barack Obama for the iCarly Pawn Stars crossover.
Oh my god.
I'm
Clusterfuck.
the Michelle kissing expert. Let me get a wrangle on that Wahoo Punch.
I'll just smell it.
Oh yeah, that's Michelle Musk.
Oh my god.
I don't like the word musk.
Nobody does. It's not a good word.
No.
It implies negative
It
connotations.
does. Well, I think I can take the Looney Tunes from here.
Why is he gonna eat that whole pizza?
Working out.
Okay. Hit a stew ball.
Alright. I hope our new babysitter isn't a bad person, for I heard about a mean babysitter here in Elwood City, said Arthur. And I hope our parents didn't hire...
Arthur's equally as grammatically impaired.
And
This is an excuse this time.
True, he's like 8. And I hope our parents didn't hire that mean woman, for if they did, we won't have fun of they hired her. So I hope it is someone who is a good person, for that would make it good. In fact, why?
I apologize
Oh,
to the readers or the listeners of this episode, the Looney Tunes episode, for all this impossible to understand. It's a different author. Continue, please.
I heard he is a good man who won't cause us no harm at all. In fact, of course, said DW. But I heard a rumor about a hunter in the woods here in Elwood City. Oh my god.
Who hires
What?
a hunter to be a babysitter?
How did DW hear about a hunter in the woods?
What does a hunter hunt in this anthro world?
Everybody!
Oh my god.
Elias, I hope yours has just as bad a grammar.
No way.
The DW's in like the pre-K. Did she even go to school yet?
No, she's in kindergarten.
Okay, so she is in kindergarten. She hears the kindergarten like playground talk of everyone talking about the hunter in the woods.
It's so terrifying.
There's a bald man with a big gun in the woods. No one will do anything about him.
There's like 2 twin characters that antagonize her. They're just like, oh, the scary hunter will fucking shoot you.
He goes after the children anthropomorphs because the other ones outsmart him.
He immediately shoots the Tibbles.
That's fucked up.
He aims right in their damn face.
I told you not to touch it.
Who's the most deserving Arthur character?
DW. Hands down,
Binky.
I hate. No, I love
Binky's
Binky.
nice.
Binky's a sweetheart.
The only thing I know about Binky is that one joke thing where he starts sleeping with Arthur's mom, and he calls himself Arthur's dad.
What's bad about that? He's a Chad.
He's like, maybe if you need to talk, son, just let me know. And the whole thing where Arthur's struggling with Binky becoming his dad, and then Binky replaces his dad's spot on the help icons.
You're gonna have to fucking send me that.
How do you Google that? What should you look up to find that?
I'm gonna find out.
Binky is Arthur's dad now.
Yeah.
Oh my god. Let's see here.
I typed in Binky's and Binky's Arthur's dad came up. Yeah. No problem. I think I'm old enough to bathe on my own now, but my mom insists on getting in the tub with me every time. It makes me feel uncomfortable. What should I do? Then his dad in the tip section. The answer may not be obvious at first. What's her name?
Francine.
Francine says, everyone has the right to privacy. Try being more firm with your mother about her refusal. What's her name?
Muffy.
Muffy says, parents know best. You should do as you are told at all times. And Binky says, I'll take your place, Arthur. And then there's the second one. Arthur says, the problem. Binky bathed with my mother, and now they're sleeping together too. It's making my dad mad, and it makes me feel uncomfortable too. What should I do? And the tip from Arthur's dad is, I'm so fucking mad. She says, everyone has a right to sleeping with your mother. I'm sorry that it makes you uncomfortable.
Everyone has a right.
And then Maggie says, this sounds like an issue that you should arrange a serious discussion with your mother about. And Binky says, nobody said you can't join us, Arthur.
What?
Holy shit.
Then, the problem. I had a conversation with my mom, and it looks like Binky is my dad now. I don't really understand. I feel confused and upset. What should I do? And then now Binky is in the tip section. It says, tip, you should go to bed, son. And then she says, Arthur, I appreciate your trouble, but I'm out of advice. And then Maggie says, it's okay, Arthur, Binky is my father too. And now his dad is in Binky's spot, and it just says, Arthur, help me.
That's brilliant.
It's like done like the problem solving. You should go to bed. I'll take your place, Arthur. Binky is so horny.
Binky's cool.
He's a villain.
Anyways, I think the kibbles deserve it.
The tibble.
I don't know a goddamn thing about Arthur.
Fucking belly belched. I think
That's just how disgusted he is with them.
Cut out both of us commenting on it and just clip me burping to the next conversation point.
There's no conversation point anymore. It's all madness. We're gonna go back into the world of bad grammar now.
Okay.
Continue reading your Arthur fan fiction.
I'll start back where I left off. I heard he is a good man who won't cause us no harm at all, in fact, of course, said DW. But I heard a rumor about a hunter in the woods here in Elwood City. We hired Bugs Bunny, and we want you kids to stay away from the woods until they arrest him, said Mrs. Reed. For I heard that hunter is Elmer Fudd, and he could shot at you kids, for we are anthropomorphic animals.
Okay, I thought Elmer Fudd was gonna be the babysitter.
So DW knows what a gun is what I'm taking away from this.
This must be after when after Arthur hit her.
After he shot her.
I told you not to touch it! Wow.
Bugs Bunny might have came here to get away from Elmer Fudd for now, said Mr. Reed. But yes, stay away from the woods until Elmer Fudd either leaves or get arrested.
They'll know.
It's like the corona.
Attention, Elmer. I'm leaving. You are free. And they'll all go out and get shot.
Humans have nothing to fear by going to the woods, but we are anthropomorphic animals, said Thora. We are safe here in Elwood City for too many people around, same as buildings, but yes, stay away from the woods until Elmer Fudd is arrested by the police. Bugs Bunny came there and greeted by them and asked them what they eat, and they said same food as humans, for they are human-like. They don't eat insects unless they are cooked, but they won't eat them. They are glad that they will stay in Elwood City due to Elmer Fudd.
Just him?
He's a one-man machine.
He's such a threat to them. Holy shit, he corrals them in that city.
You don't understand how big his gun and hat are.
Have you seen him in the Big Chungus episode? That man is thick. Let's see.
Thick.
As a matter of fact, that man is thick.
He came in, he was like, "Thou hold them all white, my mere presence." Ah!
And his mere presence is holding them.
Arthur could punch him and he wouldn't even flinch.
Put him in a hole and nail it shut.
He would shoot him so fast you wouldn't even see him move.
Like the samurai sword pull about his gun.
Like that scene in Big Money Russell is with old Babyface.
Look up.
They say his draw is so fast you don't even see him pull, and the other guy just falls over. That's a good ass movie. It's not.
They know that all but the woods is safe for them. We still see them talking about stuff this time with Bugs Bunny. Yes, we eat the same food as humans, for we are human-like, even though I am an aardvark, said Arthur. But we don't eat ants and termites, for it wouldn't taste very good. I prefer stuff like burgers and pizza, for we are human-like.
Who is he talking to? Who needs to know this?
To Bugs Bunny,
the babysitter.
But wouldn't he also...
He's got to know what to feed them. He still eats like carrots and stuff.
True. For
Right.
we are human-like,
He
and
invented the carrot peeler.
It's true.
It's just the potato peeler.
For we are human-like, and we will stay away from the woods, because I heard that Elmer Fudd is there. And that's good to know, for sure, because I won't like to see you kids eat insects, said
That's
Bugs
an Adam
Bunny.
Sandler voice.
That's good.
That's Bugs Bunny's voice. That's his voice actor.
Bugs Bunny in Space Jam 2, voiced by Adam Sandler. Hey, what's up, Doc?
I can handle Elmer Fudd, but you kids need some training. You kids take him on.
What?
Instead of avoiding him, I'm going to train you to fight him and his gun.
His gun.
His big gun.
His big gun that scares me shitless.
I'm gonna teach you how to put your fingers in the barrel.
You see, this
Now
will
put
stop
on
the
this
bullet.
put on this Chinese finger trap.
You have to be frame perfect on this one, or else it won't work.
Put on these Chinese finger traps. Relax.
Oh god, I can't do it, Daffy, to save my life.
Nobody can.
I came with him, he always shoots at me and messes up my bills, said Daffy Duck. I came here to get away from Elmer Fudd, you kids.
You just come into Arthur's house?
Into Elwood City.
Everyone is afraid of him. He's such a threat.
This one finite man.
It's like Dr. Robotnik versus all the Mobians. It's one man.
Oh god.
I am the Eggman.
Let's see here. You can all take martial arts with me, for we are looking for new students, said Sue Ellen. And Sue Ellen, she's another Arthur character.
You can enact martial law with me.
Stand the super rich one who
No, that's Muffy.
Oh, okay.
Sue Ellen's like the one with the orange hair with like the puffy hair. It's hard to explain.
Oh yeah.
Who's the hot punk rock rabbit?
Oh, Molly McDonald.
Cool.
She's cool. In season 22, she got an episode based around her. I was glad.
Only took 22 seasons
Yeah.
to explore that cool character.
I mean, she had other episodes that like she was an integral part of, but this one was like an actual episode about her. But anyway, nonetheless, I hope she's in this story. You can all take martial arts with me, for we are looking for new students, said Sue Ellen, and we can also go to Fight Club, but just don't talk about it.
They're training.
I'm glad we are in the woods today because Elmer Fudd is there, in fact, said Brain. Galaxy Brain, motherfucker.
Brain is only smart enough to know where he is, not how to defeat him.
Brain could invent technology to defeat Elmer Fudd. Or to at least detect him. He would shoot at us even though we don't have tails, in fact, of course. Chapter 2.
Okay. He's gonna send Scratch and Grounder after them.
I invented Scratch and Grounder, in fact, of course.
Dr. Fudd.
Now, this is a 10,000 word story, so I'm not gonna read all of it.
Holy shit.
So
mine was only 1,000. That's 1/10.
I think I'm probably going to come back to this one if this keeps going the way it is. Chapter 2, Training Part 1. Clean.
Training.
Part 1.
What are they going to train him to do?
Karate!
To beat the fuck out of Elmer Fudd.
They're all going to surround him and then assume one of them will get shot, but the rest will get in.
Oh, my one weakness. Multitude of people.
Numb them to mercy of harming humans.
I don't know which one to shoot first.
I only have 2 barrels.
You may be trained to have martial arts, but I have a gun.
It's starting
I have stand your ground.
This is all my ground.
The way we're voicing him, he almost sounds like a fucking impersonation of Trump. So now I'm visualizing Trump in like his friggin' big Chungus form.
Trump in his 3-piece suit with a big gun walking around the forest.
60 FPS waddle.
We can't leave Elwood City because of Donald Trump.
This is a sovereign nation.
I too am afraid of Donald Trump, so I am also in Elwood City. We can learn martial arts and defeat him. Arthur's gonna deflect a bullet.
Glad we are here in time for us to change into these robes with these belts. We will be barefoot, said Arthur. Like humans, we have 10 fingers and 10 toes, and I take good care of mine, so I wash in between my toes when I take a bath or shower.
I bet Bugs Bunny's really fucking sick of listening to him talk about how human he is. I get it. You have
fingers and toes.
Wearing their yellow belt with no stripes. Their clear belt.
I take good care of mine, so I wash in between my toes when I take a bath or shower, for part of good hygiene to help prevent toenail fungus or even athlete's foot, which I never had, for I love being clean and love cleaning, so yes, I am a neat freak, in fact, of course. Yeah, we will see you kids train hard for our battle against a team who wants to do harm to us. A team!
Who wants to do harm?
Let's all try to name one other person on Elmer Fudd's team.
It's not Elmer Fudd's team.
I hope it's Yosemite.
No, he said a team who wants to do harm to us.
I'm pretty sure he means like the B team who they're gonna fight to train.
Oh.
But I am positive that it's gonna be full of like, I'm gonna guess Foghorn Leghorn. I'll say I'm afraid of Elmer Fudd too, so I came to Elmore City.
I really hope Gossamer's in there somewhere.
I say I'm gonna learn this here martial art, and I'm gonna say kick that man's little ain't ass all over the flizzity floor.
I'm gonna bet that big orange monster
drops.
He's not.
Yeah, he is.
Don't call Foghorn Leghorn Dame Drops.
He is. That's where he learned his vernacular.
Who learned it from who?
Dame.
How about a hot dog with
From
mustard and
Sonic.
sauerkraut?
Dame Drops awoke every morning to the crow from Foghorn Leghorn, and that's just where he absorbed his language.
A real-life giant chicken on his family farm.
It was really sad when they
Dame
made
Drops
Dame.
living on a farm.
It was really sad when they made Dame cut his head off.
Hey, that sucker's running around like a chicken without his head. Oh, wait, hold on.
Okay, back to the damn story. We derailed hard that
Looney
time.
Tunes is so stupid.
It's so funny. Said Bugs Bunny. And Arthur here has good-looking feet and toes, for we are in our robes now, and in fact, most looks good barefoot, for kids' feet are nicer looking.
What the fuck is that supposed to mean?
It means he likes kids' feet.
Gross.
Training
They
hard
have 10 toes.
and 10 fingers. Training hard for a fight should go well, and glad they are in the woods, but we can't go there yet, said Fern. And I seen what looks like a skunk, which I don't know who he is. Oh no!
It's Pepe Le Pew.
That is Pepe Le Pew, and he falls in love with cats with a white stripe, even though skunks are rodents,
There
said
aren't any-
Daffy Duck.
There aren't any cat characters in Arthur, are there? Steven,
There's gotta be
say
at least
no.
one. I'm gonna say no for now, but I'll think of one.
Pepe Le Pew is in the forest.
That's not okay.
The forest is where all the villains lie.
He's gonna get shot from like 30 feet away and they're gonna watch it.
He's trying to
If
find
it-
cat
it-
girls.
Pepe Le Pew's part of the Legion of Doom that Elmer Fudd's running right now.
Elmer Fudd wants to shoot everybody. Pepe Le Pew's trying to track down all the cat girls.
How did none of us guess Pepe Le Pew?
True.
Because no one likes Pepe Le Pew.
That's true.
Let's see here. And next place we go after his from a good retired boxer to teach you kids how to defend yourselves.
Why retired?
He's cheaper.
Skunks smell bad, for they have stink glands there to spray a nasty stuff on who startled them, said Brain. And I also saw a new fight club that opened, and we heard that the teacher here wants to open a public bathhouse.
What? Brain! Go to your room!
Brain is a kerfuffled motherfucker.
I also heard there's a fight club.
Those are two polar opposite everythings!
And one of the teachers wants to open a public bathhouse.
What the fuck does that have to do with anything?
That's what I'm trying
Brain's
to figure
just
out.
spewing nonsense because if his brain gets too full, he'll explode.
Brain's had too much sugar.
They don't know if they will go to a place like that, for that there certain parts would be showing in front of boys and girls together. Bugs,
Thank you for explaining.
This is the first time. I usually have a good stomach for that shit because of all the shit that I've seen in my line of work, but I literally almost gagged reading that.
The Arthur
Just
characters talking about their bits they would have to show in front of the boys and girls.
It's because they're just so realistically stylized. It would be so gross.
Mm-hmm. It would look like actual children, and that would be bad. Bad.
Bugs Bunny said it will be separated by gender, which
Well, that
made
makes
them...
it okay.
Okay, now we're good.
Why is this such an important part of the plot?
Why does Bugs Bunny know that?
This chapter is almost
It'll be
over.
separated by boys and girls.
How is this training?
They're
We're just
training.
talking about the plans for a bathhouse.
They're training to see each other naked.
We're talking about the plans to see each other naked.
They're like, here's what we're gonna do to train, and then Brain is like, I heard about this bathhouse and this fight club, and
And Bugs Bunny said, "Hold on, you kidding? All right,
Bugs
change your
Bunny
plans."
Bugs Bunny said, don't worry, it will be separated by gender, and also we're going now.
Did you really wear your Kookaburra shirt when you went to Kookaburra?
Yeah.
Okay.
I mean, I ordered online, so I didn't like hang out.
0% luck, 100% skill.
Even though I lost.
Okay, but not sure they will get the go-ahead from the city council. The mayor, who is administrator of the city charter, gives them a strong mayor. We still them talking about stuff.
Is Bugs, like, involved in this?
Yeah.
This is even stupider than the Everybody Loves Raymond one.
Learning both martial arts and boxing is good. And also, I want to take judo, which is flipping people, said Arthur. I also want to take kickboxing as well as real wrestling, for pro wrestling is fake, and I seen it done in the Olympics and in middle school and high school. They are done on mats.
What a jab at pro wrestling.
Asshole. All you says what you kids will learn, plus learn from other forms of fighting, said Bugs Bunny. That includes American-style martial arts, for this is Japanese style. I hope it also includes some movies and pro wrestling, for I watch it on TV a lot, said Binky.
Binky would watch wrestling.
He does. It does. It's great. He teaches Brain how to do a sleeper hold. It's funny.
That's crazy. I thought you said he was going to teach Brain how to do a brain buster and just slams his head in the ground.
He may as well have. Brain almost choked him out and he called him a natural.
How about a brain buster?
Alright, you can choke me out, but how will you do when I drop you directly on your head?
Your most vital organ, your brain.
Your brain. Said Binky. Once I have in mind is stuff like headlock and using chairs as a weapon.
Binky's gonna hit Elmer Fudd with a chair. Binky's gonna do a heel turn and hit Elmer Fudd with a chair.
Binky would crush Elmer Fudd.
Elmer Fudd's gonna be like beating up the others and he's gonna come behind him with the steel chair and the crowd's gonna boo.
Binky has a heel turn and turns against Arthur and breaks his fucking glasses with a chair.
Binky would hit Elmer Fudd in the back of the head and he'd talk even slower.
It's making me hypoglycemic. We need to move forward. Oh my god.
I guess. I guess we would have Uncle Seba teach you that to you kids. In fact, of course, said Daffy Duck. But that's so we should allow you kids to handle weapons. In fact, of course. I hope it includes Chinese style of martial arts, for that would be cool, said Bud. I am a tough little boy who is stronger than I look, for I am a strong kid. Oh, Bud he's from the new seasons. He's a fucking southern kid.
So you mean this is a recent writing?
I hope it's... Oh god, that's gonna make this sound a lot worse. I hope it includes Chinese style of martial arts, for that would be cool, said Bud. I'm a tough little boy who is stronger than I look, for I am a strong kid. Chapter 3, Training Part 2.
Training Part 2?
They didn't train.
Oh, there's 7 parts to the training.
They all just said they wanted to train.
No, let me
They
rephrase
all want to
that.
learn different fighting styles.
There's training parts 1 through 5, swimming and a skunk, and then training parts 6 and 7. There's a chapter just called Learning Braille.
What does that have to do with defeating Elmer Fudd?
I'm invested in the story now.
The chapter after that is Sign Language and Dreams.
Which one of them went deaf and then blind?
Who got shot in the eyes?
Someone got...
How does, over the course of babysitting, Bugs Bunny have enough time to teach them Braille, sign language, and 7 parts of training?
Boys, we're coming back to this one.
And taking them to the bathhouse.
And taking them to the bathhouse, of course.
Okay.
To explain how boys and girls are different.
We're coming back to this one, man. I like
5th grade
this.
sucked.
Let's see here. I see that boxer over there. He is my favorite boxer. I hope he can train us, for that would be cool, said Arthur.
I like this paragraph ending they do frequently called, for that would be cool.
Yeah. I know the owner of that cabin. He wants to go back there, for he is afraid of being shot, for he is a photographer, not a hunter. He owns a camera, not a gun, for he is afraid of guns, for he works for the local newspaper, who is a good man with a wife and children. He is the one who will train you kids in boxing, for here he comes now, in fact, of course, said Bugs Bunny. I called him, and he will be glad to train you kids and fight against the villains, in fact, of course. Glad we are here today, for we will have to take care of them to get them to leave the cabin and woods, said Fern. And one kind of fighting I don't want is with weapons.
We don't think we will allow you to handle weapons. Allow that to us adults, said Daffy Duck. And we fight against them a lot, but we want you kids to beat them up.
Who's them?
Elmer Fudd and his crew of villains.
His cronies.
This big gaggle of uglies he has in the woods.
Elmer Fudd and Pepe Le Pew.
His rope.
That's it.
Elmer Fudd and the skunk.
I like Pepe Le Pew.
His bad Fudds.
Bad Fuds.
No, like his bad Nicks.
Oh my god. Let's see.
Who's this boxing legend we're about to meet?
That's what I'm curious about.
Foghorn Leghorn.
Good, for I don't want to carry a gun or other weapons, for they can kill, said Brain. I also know the owner of that cabin. He is afraid of guns, in fact, of course. Why do you know that?
Why does Brain know things can kill?
He's Brain. He knows everything.
Brain has forbidden knowledge.
Brain's seen death firsthand.
The boxer trained them in boxing and said they learned very well.
The boxer?
And they know that Fight Club is next, then boxing gym, then a kickboxing gym.
I'm gonna throw up.
Fight Club before the gym?
And one kind of fighting they won't train with is weapons, except in martial arts only, and it is light in weight. They won't use weapons to fight the bad guys. We still see them talking about stuff, in fact, of course. We won't talk about Fight Club, for that is the rules of Fight Club, for I know that well, said Arthur. We are now on our way to Fight Club, them after that kickboxing, and tomorrow we take judo and South Korean martial arts, and I hope that we won't have to use weapons against them unless we have no choice.
Martha is a very honorable warrior.
Yes, those are the rules of Fight Club.
What's wrong, Dakota? You didn't like that sentence?
Something I never thought I would hear.
You turned and gasped and grabbed
If I
your
had
brow.
asked myself 5 years ago, like, what situation I would be in, this would not be it.
Listening to this fan fiction about Arthur getting trained to fight
judo against Elmer Fudd.
To stop Elmer Fudd's menace.
Arthur is whatever you said, warrior.
Arthur is an honorable warrior.
Yeah, that.
Oh my god.
Arthur sees Elmer Fudd's gun and shakes his head solemnly.
Bugs Bunny's gonna teach him how to tie it in a knot.
Yes, those are the rules of Fight Club, is not to talk about it. That is the number one rule, said Bugs Bunny. Allow us adults to take care of them using weapons if we have to.
He's very adamant about the adults using weapons. Only the adults can use weapons, but we kids, we fight with our fists.
We can go to the gym to get some exercise to get stronger in fighting against them, said George. That includes pumping iron, swimming, and exercise machines.
I do that.
We will
pumping iron. Arthur is an 8-year-old in the gym, putting up like 45s.
The fucking moose kid with the puppet.
Binky destroying every machine he gets on.
Binky training to land a brainbuster frame perfect on Elmer Fudd's big head.
Binky training to beat Goku, or at least Krillin.
All this training is not necessary. Just tell Binky Elmer Fudd says something mean about him, and Binky will freaking noogie him into the ground and kill him.
Binky's doing 100 squats, sit-ups, push-ups, and a 10-kilometer run every day. He's ready.
Binky with his freaking chucks and fat jeans and just kick Elmer Fudd in the stomach and knock the air out of him.
His big old Tims.
He would fall to his knees and go,
Elmer Fudd would fold up and cry.
He runs up and boots him with his big old Tims.
Elmer Fudd would say, I'm gonna get this, and then just get booted in the stomach so hard.
Binky would just kick him in the ribs while he's down.
We'll go there after school on Monday.
then head to the racetracks at the middle school using for running.
We're
Said
borrowing
Daffy
the
Duck.
middle school's racetrack, by the way.
So
We
yeah,
got the appropriate paperwork filled out to use the middle school's racetrack.
I'm sure.
so yes, exercise is for Monday. In fact, of course,
I
How
know
long is Bugs Bunny babysitting these kids?
for 15 chapters. I know on Tuesday we get trained in American style of martial arts, in fact, said Buster. Then we go to the high school for freestyle wrestling, in fact, of course.
Why does everyone say that?
I need some ideas for the next chapter here, of course. See what happens next chapter here, of course.
I can't.
Okay, I'm done. I'm coming back to this one eventually, though.
My brain just can't take it anymore.
My bladder can't withstand another chapter.
It's like when you're a kid and you're like learning new grammar tools and you're just like, this is the proper way to write. Like,
So you use it all the time because you sound fancy and cool.
Yeah, it's like when you're trying to first use like
All of the
semicolons or like phrases like that.
You put a comma every 5 seconds.
Mm-hmm.
I still do that.
I know.
I rate that story a unisex bathhouse out of 10.
I rate that a Binky's 5-finger death punch.
Alright, that Binky turned down the whole forest to X-Gun, give it to you looking for Elmer Fudd.
Incredible.
Alright, that's a break.
Okay. We'll be right back after these commercial messages.
Don't look up. Don't look up, says who? Well, I'll look up if I got you now, chicken. How many times do I gotta tell you, son? If you want great chicken, go to Kentucky Fried Chicken. It's the only place to get America's favorite chicken. You see, the Colonel's secret blend of 11 herbs and spices makes every bite's finger-licking good. So hurry up, son. It's waiting for you. Don't want to miss out. Kentucky Fried Chicken, we do chicken right.
Sexual harassment.
Run around home.
He can still be a victim.
Yeah, but I do that all the time.
You're not painting yourself in a very good light.
Dakota's just like,
I do it all the time.
I didn't hear him objecting.
Elias has tears rolling down his cheeks.
Putting pizza in Tupperware. Just teardrops falling inside the Tupperware.
That's salty flavor.
I love salt so much.
The flavor of sad.
Sad pizza. You didn't put any hot fries on your pizza.
Yeah, I thought about it.
You realized how dehydrating that would be?
Yeah, it's like a LaCroix. I was like, I can't just drink Mountain Dew and pizza and hot fries.
You can. It's the ultimate gamer diet.
We're not spry chickens anymore. We're getting pretty old.
You need to balance gamer fuel with water.
In my old age, I really am feeling the you can't just eat candy and that's it. Growing up sucks. We're back.
Okay. Time for my story.
Your Looney Tunes hashtag fanfiction.
I'm going to skip the disclaimer because I think it gives it away.
That's okay.
Go ahead.
Sacramento, Selenor Sark, USSR. Naked Snake remained crouched, gun and knife at ready. He was certain he had given the slip to the sentries in the neighboring Svragtorkinish area, and cluttered as the next area was, he couldn't find a single Spetsnaz troop. Still, it was better to err on the side of caution. The mountainous Krasnogorsk region was just beyond here, and while Snake welcomed the prospect of getting out of this tortuously humid rainforest, there would be fewer places to hide. He could never afford to get complacent. Ironically, he was reminded of a warning Eva gave him over the radio. A solid 100 yards ahead of Snake's tree-lined position was a cliff with a grassy ledge. Even if Snake hadn't been standing right in front of the grasses, he still would have noticed something lying in it until a real snake slithered out of a place mass blending in with the shrubbery. The being did not stir as the snake crawled over its back and over its wrinkled head, bare save for a pair of headphones, earmuffs, and a long thick beard. A large native insect similarly scaled his bald head with impunity. The rest of his body remained concealed by a photosynthetic moss ghillie suit, green as the plants around him. So this is referencing Metal Gear Solid 3, the end sniper boss. He's an old man who hides in the shrubbery and you have to find him or he'll shoot you. It wasn't until his pet parrot landed and quietly squawked, hello, hello? The man leapt to consciousness. He didn't jump, but with a start, he gripped his other companion, a Mosin Nagant sniper rifle modified to fire tranquilizer darts. In a heartbeat, he brought the scope up to his dormant left eye and let it bulge out of his socket in a sickening, cartoonish manner to get his bearings. The time he spent bathing in the sun's glow had returned the vigor to his old bones and the withered muscles, but he knew it would not last. However, rather than rot as a helpless vegetable in the confines of his wheelchair, the ancient sniper had chosen to wait in these woods overnight, waiting to face his final opponent when the daylight came. He would die, that was a given, but at least he would die at the hands of a worthy opponent than at the hands of time. I beg of you, he whispered with an unreal echo. Snake stood up with a start as a strange voice filled his ears. He didn't move from his spot, but warily scanned the green miasmic jungle with his eyes, desperately seeking its source. Grant me this... I do an old man voice. Grant me the strength to take this final prey. Let me linger in this world a little longer. I have already slept enough for one lifetime, enough for an eternity. He could almost hear the speaker smirk with those last few words. You have my thanks. I have to thank you for waking me. Snake narrowed his eyes. Were those last words directed at him? If you hadn't shown up, my sleep would have been eternal. Snake thought he had heard the fluttering of a bird's wings to the north, but still could find no trace of a human life as far as he could see. Summoning his newfound strength, the Cobra soldier rose to his feet, standing over the cliff edge. Do you hear me, Snake? He tacked on that last word to make sure his quarry had no doubts as to who he was addressing. I am the end. I am here to send you to your ultimate fate. You'll find a fine quarry for my final hunt. Ancient Sniper, the end. Realizing this forest was a perfect environment for a sniper of the end's caliber, Snake ducked behind a tree. He grabbed his radio and switched to the frequency at 142.52. As soon as the static cleared, he spoke to the woman on the other end. Ava, I found that sniper you were talking about, he whispered. That's the end. He's a legend, known as the father of sniping, she whispered back. I've got experience with sniping in urban and marine environments, he explained.
Where are the Looney Tunes?
It's coming. What about the forest? The concern was palpable in her hushed inquiry. I don't know where I got husband from. Even though she couldn't see him, he quickly shook his head. Never. I see, well... She was almost about to give Snake a rundown on the geography of Sacravano before something suddenly hit her. Wait, I got in touch with your CO shortly after I warned you about the end. He told me to tell you can call him next time we talked. Why didn't you tell me before? Well, I would have, but Vulcan sent Ocelot unit out to patrol the route I originally planned to take our rendezvous point. I was focused on staying undercover and finding another route that had slipped my mind afterwards. Well, in that case, stay incognito. I'll get in touch with the Major right away. With that, Snake cut out his transmission to Ava and contacted Major Zero. Snake, any progress? Have you made it to the mountains yet? Zero asked immediately. Negative, Major, Snake said as he peeked to his immediate surroundings, hoping his new foe wouldn't ambush him. I've been ambushed. One of the Cobras. The end is here. You bumped into him already? Major sounded genuinely surprised. Not a moment sooner, I suppose, but word of caution. Watch your fire. Is there something I should know about, Major? Well, Ava called in ahead and warned us that the end would be in the area, and frankly, I feel we're strapped enough for time as it is. The normally upbeat Zero's voice became slightly grim as those last few words. While I feel I may have overstepped my bounds, I felt obliged to activate a sleeper agent we had stationed in the region recently.
Oh.
20 minutes earlier. Bring!
Ah, shut up!
Snapped an agitated voice before the source of the noise, and an alarm clock found itself flung across the room. The person who had sent the alarm sailing threw off the covers of his bed and stretched with a deep yawn before rubbing his eyes.
Sleeping until his alarm went off.
Finally, he opened them to the sight of his familiar dirt burrow, home away from home. Jeez Louise, what's an agent's got to do to get some sleep around here? Breed, 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 came a quieter, less intrusive, but still annoying noise. All right then, what's on the agenda for today? The agent muttered to himself before grabbing the speaker to a radio next to his bed. He spoke into the speaker. Who dis? If it's another one of you telemarketer guys, I have to warn you this is a government frequency and we're on every do not call list in the country. This is Major Zero, answered a British accented voice on the other end. You're codenamed Wanzan, are you not? Maybe. What's the situation, Doc? I'm activating you immediately. One of our agents is in a bit of a spot, and his opponent has skills you're experienced in countering. I need you to make way to Sakharov post-haste. Ah, gee whiz, Doc, the sleepy agent punctuated with a yawn. I'm awfully sleepy. I might take a wrong turn at Albuquerque if I don't get another 5 minutes of sleep. Agent Watson, Albuquerque is clear on the other side of the planet. The officer on the other end sounded a little more impatient. Sacramento is what? 10 clicks west of your post? Ah, gee, let me verify that. The agent put down the radio and emptied a sidearm he left on the table. He never once used it in his career, but hung onto it for formality's sake. One click came as he pulled the trigger, then another. Repeat ad nauseum. Doc, my gun clicked 10 times. I ain't anywhere near Sakatosha or Soccer Blue or whatever you want me to... I'll be more than happy to laugh at your jokes after you hear me out. Now here's the situation. Annoying sass to superiors aside, the majority concluded. He's been mobilized and is on the way to your area. He should be arriving shortly. Major, are you sure this guy's cut out for the job? Of course he is. He's a master sergeant in the Marine Corps, and a damn good one, too, Zero spoke with pride. Only a master sergeant, Concerned Snake noted. I wasn't aware they sent out NCOs for deep cover solo ops like this. So, Snake said that Bugs Bunny's a master sergeant.
I got it.
Normally we don't, but as far as dealing with enemies in unconventional terrain, this fellow is second to none. Hell, during the war, he was the Pacific Theater's answer to Cobra Unit. You could say he really nipped the nips. The Major concluded that with no doubt a coy smirk on the other end of the line. Hold on a second, Snake would have cut off Zero if he raised his voice even a millisecond sooner. If this guy is as good as you say he is, why even bother sending me? I mean, you said he's right here. Well, we could have made him the Operation Snake Eater operative, Zero explained. But if we did that, you and I couldn't redeem ourselves, and we'd be facing that firing squad yesterday. Snake grumbled. It had barely been a week since the boss had broken his arm and leg before being thrust into this mission, and she had already kicked his ass once more shortly after the rough aerial insertion when the mission was over. He'll be glad to have an eye. In the meantime, Zero concluded, try not to let the end pump you full of tranquilizers and double time your way to the mountains. Grosnij Grad is just a few more miles, so suck it up. Over and out. With the click confirming the transmission cut off, Snake grumbled a little more and got into his leaf camouflage. Hopefully the end, for all his sniffing prowess, wouldn't shoot a dart up his ass in the intervening sneak. While the ancient sniper's adrenaline was still flowing freely, his patience was wearing thin. There was very little cover between the spot and his prey's position, and he had sent his parrot forth as an extra set of eyes to spy on Snake. He was tempted to get up and run to one of the many, many hiding places throughout the spiritual landscape. The forest was his ally, and it would aid him in his dying moments that he may yet avenge the pain and the fear who had already fallen into the quarry's hands. Still, as his eyes bulged out of its wrinkled eye socket to peer through his Mosin Noggin scope, his view of the landscape was abruptly obstructed by a gray blur, followed by another eye. So jarring was this, Santuranian stumbled out of his squatting position and fell into a sitting position. He managed to recover from his startled mindset in time to look the way he had been before. Standing in the bushes he had been hiding was a gray anthropomorphic rabbit with its right index finger jammed up the barrel of his prized rifle. In his free left hand was a partially eaten carrot, which bobbed slightly as he held off the urge to eat it long enough to introduce himself. He interrupted his own long introduction, enough to nibble off a bit of the carrot and chew it with quick, crisp crunches. What's up, Doc? What's up? He left his right eye sink back into its socket before blinking and shaking his head. This is a hallucination produced by his aged brain's dying moments. Jeez, I was told you had a parrot, not that you were one.
Damn.
Goddamn, got him.
The rabbit used his index finger.
To do what?
To gently push the rifle aside as he bit what was left of the carrot free of its leaves before swallowing an audible gulp. Gulp? Who are you? Where's Snake? The ancient sniper hissed as his trigger finger tightened around the rifle. Jeez Louise, you cobras and your snakes. I deal with enough rattles in the desert as it is. He made no move to stop the old man as he rose himself to a standing position. You want that snake, though, Doc? You gotta go through me. He jabbed a thumb to his chest in emphasis. Wascoey Rabbits Bugs Bunny. That was his title card as he said that. Hey, the audience ain't idiots, Bugs exclaimed as he produced a handkerchief and wiped his introductory text off the screen and yet another one of Hideo Kojima's classic flips of the bird to the fourth wall.
Incredible.
You have no business being here, said the old veteran. I came here to hunt snakes, not rabbits. Ah, geez, didn't you hear, Doc? Bugs said in a tone that sounded like he was about to rain on someone's parade.
No.
Snake season ain't here till June. It's rabbit season this time of year.
Oh.
He thought to himself. I can't believe I said that and tried to sound like I meant it for once. My hunt will not. He paused to let the knot sink in, poking the rabbit in the chest with his Mosin rifle, be interrupted by a little upstart. The rabbit rolled his eyes, dismissively putting his hands on his hips. Sorry, Doc, but until my buddies clear out of here, I ain't taking my eyes off you. Had the bunny been a little more perceptive, he probably would have noticed the sinister smirk underneath the man's beard. Thank goodness for that. Faster than the rabbit could see, the end reached into one of his ghillie suit pockets and with an audible click tossed a small metal cylinder at Bug's feet. The rabbit looked down, but that proved to be a terrible mistake. Blam! For a moment, Bugs found nothing but white in his vision, and the only sound he heard was a consistent ringing and a feeling of disorientation that would leave the stars in vision once it returned. Why did they pit this old man sniper against Bugs Bunny?
That's funny.
He's a hunter, I guess.
Yeah, he's like Elmer Fudd. He's
Sure.
in the forest.
He sure is like you.
So I'm trying to hunt a snake, and he says, no, it's
wabbit season, not snake season. That's also why. For that joke.
Sure enough, after 10 agonizingly long seconds, Shapes and Color managed to breach the whiteness, finding himself in the same place he left. However, there was one major problem. Bugs! What happened? Zero screamed in his ear. Bugs! Bugs! With his sensitive hearing already recovering, the worrywart major shouting into his ears was the last thing Bugs needed. Of course, in true tongue-in-cheek fashion. Doc, Bugs said on the radio, I can hear you just fine. Just go see a therapist about your insectophobia. Because he screamed Bugs. He did not give the major a chance to respond before he cut off his radio.
Oh my god.
Using the newfound peace and quiet to make another observation, the end was nowhere to be found. Air occupied the space he once stood, as did the burnt-out flashbang that aided his getaway. So now, it's actually become a Bugs versus the End boss fight because he did the flashbang and escaped.
Oh my god. Just seeing this, just thinking about Bugs Bunny standing in this real room, looking around for a man with a gun.
Imagine him like blind, the colonel screaming, Bugs!
God.
But Bugs Bunny wouldn't let a cheap little shot like that stop him. He quickly wiped the stars out of his vision and looked to the ground at his feet, noting that for all his guile as a sniper, the old marksman had left a trail of muddy footprints in his wake. A grave mistake, even if one didn't have to deal with the cunning rabbit. Still, the fact that the sniper hadn't gotten the drop on him at all without being a part of one of Bugs' zany tricks was a slight the rabbit would not take lightly. Of course you realize, he said in a low, unusually serious tone, that this means war. To be continued. Alright, in retrospect, this opening is kind of lame, but rest assured I have plenty of classic gags and material for everyone's favorite wascally rabbit to pull everyone's favorite boss, among other things. Hopefully, this at least has you hooked.
Is that the end?
The end. See if you're ready more.
Good. I rate that, two fingers stuck in the barrel of a gun out of 5.
Right, that 5 cigarettes that Bugs Bunny puts in his mouth to recover.
Chewing on a cigarette, going, what's up, Doc?
What's up, Doc?
No, I think that was the last one.
It happens. Oh, lordy.
The description was why I read it, which is, Naked Snake tries to stay one step ahead of the end during Operation Snake Eater. However, Major Zero has activated a sleeper agent to aid him. A very wascally sleeper agent.
I hate that he's a sleeper agent.
Say the code word. All this time you could have just said a code word and Bugs Bunny would be dangerous as hell.
The code word was, "What's up, Doc?"
I'm glad I read that. I swear they made up every single Russian name. They were so hard to read. They just threw a bunch of J's and Z's in there.
Sounds about right.
Sounds pretty racist of you to say.
Hey, it's just real.
That's just how Russian is.
It's just how Russians are.
Fake.
Yeah. Alright, I hope you enjoyed our special Looney Tunes episode, and...
Yeah, it was special, alright.
Someone was special.
Thanks for listening. We hope you had fun. Check us out, YouTube, Spotify, we're on Twitter. Hit us up, give us suggestions, share with your friends, share with your parents. Hey, we're still probably going to be on quarantine by the time this episode comes out now. What better time to listen to podcasts than now? Am I right? Am I right?
I've got to agree. I'm checking to see
You're right.
what our next subject is going to be. I just want to make sure there's a decent amount of crossovers for this.
Pretty
Yes.
interesting how you didn't do that before the show.
I did, but I forgot. It is Animal Crossing.
Animal Crossing? You mean that thing that's popular?
Yeah. I'm playing it myself, and I want to talk about it.
Wow.
We should all read them in Animal Crossing-ish.
Animalese.
Yeah, there
I
we go.
expect you all to learn a new language by next week. Wow, you're picking it up so quickly.
Oh my god. It's Leo, the lion. Leo, he has the tea shop and the bathhouse. They don't appreciate my tulip humor. Heathens, all of you. Where are the tulip fanfics?
True.
Where
is the tulip people that have played the game?
Yes,
Yeah,
that too. Short answer, there's none of them.
Play Tulip on PS2. Good night.
Night.
That's all, folks.
I love Tulip. It's a fantastic game. And the people also speak in Animalese, if you want to call it that.